films in the privacy of our homes on large screens and so on. So, this assumption that there's a large mass and we need to look at the lowest common denominator in terms of aesthetics, in terms of moral values, and hence, a justification for certification and censorship. I think that assumption itself needs to be argued.
But that assumption is there as long as there is something like the film industry.
That's right. No, I would then...
that assumption that is the assumption on which the basis of certification works, not on any other basis. Because, for instance, why is there no censorship? Why is there no certification for television? There isn't, except for the television, except for the people who own that television station or the television
I think
channel.
all these questions, doubts, apprehensions only show that it's very difficult to address this issue.
That's right.
This is not a legal issue. This is also an aesthetic, ethical, philosophical. So you cannot just make a blanket solution for all.
That's right. I would
no solution.
to join issues with Shyambabu.
Recommendation.
I would then argue that the censor certification should only be then for theatrical releases, not for DVD distribution at all, because DVDs are actually being seen individually. And if the mass is the logic to justify certification, then we should just get out of censorship for DVDs.
In law, it is so. In law, it is so.
No, I cannot technically, Shyambabu, buy, sell, rent any DVD unless it has a censor certificate. That's the current Cinematograph Act. So it's not making that differentiation.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry. Thank you all. I think it was very illuminating for me. But I do want to bring us back to the changed media landscape of the time. You're talking about access to pornography 24/7 on the internet. It is such a changed landscape. We talk about extreme violent images. We talk about obscene images. What were the images of those men who were thrashed in Una, which went viral? What do we do? I'm just saying, I think if we're going to think of, if we put this aside for a minute, filmmaking, certification, and these are all important and need to be discussed, but I think we really have to talk about a time when images are being produced, images are being circulated, and they are having a concrete impact, right? What are we to do? I'm just inviting us all, actually, even audience, let's all think about a time where really I feel the formal mainstream production of images is going to go into decline. This is my theory. And we are entering a very different phase, but we don't seem to have the analytical framework, nor do we have theory in a sense to understand what is happening today. And I want to invite us to really think about it.
We have theory, but unfortunately, the people who handle the issue don't have the access to it.
No. If you are in a space, if you are in a space that is, in a sense, unregulated, not formal, right? At the whims and fancies of, we know in South India, who owns television channels? Political parties own television channels. You're in a very different space.
Except it's a double-edged sword.
Absolutely.
It's the lack of regulation that is giving us access to a lot of stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, I think it's just a thing to think about the space we're in, because what from the Cinematograph Act and from certification and from those things, to me, it's really talking about a very different time and a very different way of production and distribution. It's important, we have to discuss it, but let's talk about a time when everybody has cell phones, things are being put up, shot, Okay.
Okay, thank you. I think before throwing it open, one person you wanted to be here was Lawrence Lian, one of the legal experts, who has really looked at the whole scenario and also made very interesting comments on censorship. And one thing, he has an interesting paper on censorship in India where he talks about two things. One is like the kind of symbolism that filmmakers have developed to overcome censorship. How do you actually picturize a kissing scene? How do you picturize a love-making scene? You bring in lots of symbols. You develop a lot of symbols to go around it, and so is it a whole lot of aesthetics to responding to censorship. And also, like, he also talks about very interesting ways in which, the hurt sentiment drama. Every time you say something, a sentiment is hurt. So we have this whole drama of hurt sentiments in
Vignesh, you
played
should
out.
also remember that Minister has serious issue with kissing.
No, I know,
Talked
yeah.
about
Piece
it
of-
in the Guava film.
yeah. So I think it's very interesting kind of presentations. I think a lot of hot topic, a lot of questions, comments.